Few men even consider the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us.
On November 14th, 2008, with the help of NASA, India became the fourth country to plant its flag on the moon by successfully landing the Chandrayaan-1, which would shock the scientific community by confirming that water did in fact exist on the lunar surface. On June 18, 2009, after the United States honored India with an award for scientific achievement for proving that water existed on the moon, NASA announced that it would be launching a bizarre lunar mission of their own in order to again attempt to prove the existence of water on the moon. While India's moon mission determined the presence of water by simply collecting minerals from the moon's surface, NASA chose a much more sinister plan, as they would launch a spacecraft to get close to the moon and then fire a missile at it. And on October 9th, 2009, that's exactly what our space program did. They bombed the moon.
This rocket weighs as much as an SUV. So we all like the moon, we look at it at night, but we are about to hit it twice with quite the double impact.
So Ryan, it has hit, and they have an infrared picture.
Shortly after this event, a document would surface that brought into question the moon bombing even more, as this previously classified document from the Department of Defense proves that on December 3rd, 1996, roughly 12 years before India's discovery, NASA had already confirmed that water was on the moon. Which begs two obvious questions. Was NASA lying about their reason for bombing the moon? And if so, who did we bomb? Skywide Lies.
The UFO hair story the Chicago Tribune exclusively broke on New Year's Day is garnering attention around the world. Okay, so what did it look like again to the folks who saw it?
Dark gray, metallic, saucer shaped, no lights. It was stationary in the sky, and it was there for some minutes. And then when it disappeared, it just streaked through the clouds with such energy that it broke a blue hole in the overcast. The pilots on that plane, they opened the windscreen and snapped some pictures.
Somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above the 8 Charlie 17. Anything over there?
We saw it a half hour ago.
Who saw it?
A whole bunch of us over at the Charlie Gun.
Really?
The witnesses who originally came to you are all seasoned, credible professionals like pilots.
They're pilots, they're senior managers, they're mechanics, and when they go to the government to try to get information,
Don't believe in UFOs? I used to feel the same exact way. Until I moved to Marina del Rey, California.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The unidentified object moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach.
After learning the hidden history of the city, I personally witnessed the unimaginable. (1992), the U.S.O. incident. Now, the reason I'm showing you this footage again from the UFO Ranch episode of Paranormal State is that it's very important to note that years prior to the Dyatlov Pass incident, and on the night that the team was supposedly killed by some unknown force, lights were seen in the sky. Lights were seen in the sky by people living on the mountain, on the base. They described them as fireballs, and they were seen often. In fact, local Mansi lore. Mansi is a Russian dialect that is spoken in this certain area in the Ural Mountains, and they called those people Mansi people. In Mansi lore and legend, it was said to never go to the mountain because these fireballs would supposedly consume you and kill you, and there was some kind of dark magic up there. So that's where that legend comes from. It's from the Mansi. They said this happened, but there's no actual proof that it happened. But we do know if our government is going to test missiles, if they're going to test weaponry, they're certainly not going to do it, where there's anybody around. In the upper northwest, it is wide open. If you've ever driven through like the Dalles and like that entire area, like Trout Lake, I mean, there is nothing around. The fact that James Gilliland lives there with his ranch is amazing. And because there's nothing around. I mean, there's Mount Adams, the pass, and Gilliland's ranch, and like this little gas station of, miles away. And that's it. And if you look at the Ural Mountains, I mean, we're talking about Russia. We're talking about, the development of mass weaponry. They have to test it somewhere. Where are they going to test it? They're going to test it in a location that nobody is typically at, right? That's what they would do. And if they test this weaponry, what will it look like? Will it look like fireballs? Will there be lights in the sky? Will people see this? Will there be local lore and legend that says never go there? When you start to look at it from that angle, was the Russian government testing weaponry in that area? Certain things start to make sense, but we'll come back to that. For those of you that have seen the UFO Ranch episode of Paranormal State, what's interesting is that a lot wasn't covered. Because it was a 22-minute episode, it focused just on the lights in the sky. But I was fascinated by the footage that James showed me of the military aircraft, yes, black helicopters that would not only circle his place, but at night, they would swoop down and hover above his house for hours and hours upon end. He had seen black military jets. He had seen them doing all kinds of different maneuvers, and he said they came from a base within the mountain. He said he had footage, nighttime footage, of things lighting up on the base of the mountain. Now remember, there should be nothing at the base of Mount Adams. There's no roads leading in, there's nothing. So if you're going to see any activity there, it's probably something military. And then James showed me this footage. Look at this infrared footage of James Gilliland's. Nothing should be lighting up at the base of Mount Adams, but clearly